नमस्कार, न्यूज क्लिक के डेली राउंडअप में आपका स्वागत है। आइए नजर डालते हैं आज की हेडलाइंस पर। हाथरस में युवती के साथ हुई घटना से पूरे देश में विरोध प्रदर्शन शुरू। विपक्ष हुआ योगी सरकार पर आक्रामक। देश में कोरोना मामलों की संख्या पहुंची 63 लाख के पार। एक दिन में 1181 मरीजों की मौत। बाबरी मस्जिद विध्वंस केस, कहां है न्याय? नए कृषि कानूनों पर क्या कहते हैं भिवानी के किसान? उत्तर प्रदेश के हाथरस में 19 साल की युवती के साथ हुए अपराध से पूरे देश में आक्रोश का माहौल है। योगी आदित्य
This is the first big global pandemic after 1918 influenza epidemic. The world is unprepared in spite of repeated warnings. This is the cycle we have repeated through 2003 SARS epidemic, swine flu, avian flu, Zika, Nipah, and Ebola. The prophetic words of the Global Preparedness Monitoring Board, co-convened by WHO and World Bank September 2019. For too long we have allowed a cycle of panic and neglect when it comes to pandemics. We ramp
80 मरीजों की जान भी ले ली है। साथ ही इसी बीच कोरोना से पीड़ित 85,376
up efforts when there is a serious threat, then quickly forget about them when the threat subsides. It is well past time to act. There is a very real threat of a rapidly moving, highly lethal pandemic of a respiratory pathogen killing 50 to 80 million people and wiping out nearly 5% of world's economy. A global pandemic on that scale would be catastrophic, creating widespread havoc, instability, and insecurity. The world is not prepared. As on 10th August, SARS-CoV-2 has infected 20 million people and killed more than 700,000. It shows no sign of abating. We have seen the herd immunity disaster in UK and Sweden, and that of ignoring the epidemic by the US and Brazil. Only vaccines and drugs, if we discover an effective treatment, can help us. Herd immunity can come only from vaccines. Experts expect vaccines to be available by beginning of next year. A number of medicines are being repurposed.
The stock market in a few months ago hit a new record high, and the billionaires have brought in an additional over $650 billion since the start of the pandemic. So while it's true that the people are suffering, not all people are suffering, and in fact, it's been a big boon for those who own the majority of the corporate stocks in the country. And on the other side, it's the exact opposite. We're seeing people waiting in long lines for food. The poverty rate, as you said, has gone way up. The unemployment rate is officially gone down to 7.9%, but the
and are in clinical trials. So far, only 2 have shown some efficacy. Vaccines and drugs may be available, but will they reach the people? We already know the US approach. Warp Speed's main goal is to protect the United States. The attitude here is the oxygen mask approach, the official says. Swaminathan has cautioned us against vaccine nationalism. Yet money and national interest may win out. The United States and Europe
workforce, which really means that they've given up. They have a life of such despair that they won't even be able to look for work and are just trying to survive through other means. They're not going to be counted as unemployed. By contrast, they said the economy